Donald Trump already fundraising off the target letter he received from the special counsel. He's facing a possible third indictment, this time for his actions around January 6th. And whether that would change anything for his base or his opponents is an open question. Now, joining me now from Sioux City, Iowa, is one of those primary opponents, Governor Doug Burgum of North Dakota. Governor, thank you so much for joining us today. We'll talk about your campaign in a moment, but I do want to start about the news here that former President Donald Trump could be facing an indictment in the special counsel's January 6th investigation. Do you think the former president should be held accountable for his efforts to overturn the 2020 election?
Well, Mano, first of all, grateful to be on the show with you, and we're grateful that our campaign that's only 6 weeks old is off to such a great start, and we're looking forward to being on the debate stage. I do want to say, relative to this entire industry that's built around talking about the former president, there's some people that love this. China loves this. Russia loves this. Because whenever your Republican candidates are being dragged into talking about another candidate, nobody gets to talk about their vision for the future, about lower energy prices, about a stronger economy, about a safer world. And that's what our campaign is about. And when we're on the ground talking about to the citizens in Iowa and New Hampshire, they've got real concerns about whether or not we have a two-tiered system of justice. And so we know, we're at 6% polling in New Hampshire. We reached our 40,000 threshold for donors today. So please do announce that right here on your show. But we know that people want to talk about economy, energy, national security. These are things that touch every American. These are things they're concerned about, and that's why our campaign is getting traction.
I want to get into your campaign a little bit, but I do want to just talk to you a little bit more about this, because this is the former president. This is the front runner for the party's nomination. And this is a criminal indictment that he's already had two. He could potentially face a third. So it's very serious stuff here. And I'm wondering if you believe he at all, former President Trump, was responsible for any of the violence or destruction that occurred on January 6th.
Well, I think this is why we have a judicial system, and everybody in America is innocent until proven guilty. But as I said, when you've got the leading opponent being attacked by the people sitting in power, of course people are going to feel that the whole thing is politicized. And so
would you support
this is something the courts have to sort out. And and again, when we're talking to voters and primary voters in these states, the things they're concerned about is they're paying too much for their food, they're paying too much for their gas, they're worried about Chinese spy balloons coming over our country, Chinese spy base in Cuba. These are things they're worried about. But I know that there's the pundit set can get a lot of clicks, talking about speculating about indictments and what might happen in the future in the judicial system.
Yeah,
but that's not where Americans' heads are. Not when they're concerned about their families, their jobs, and their future.
And look, this is a federal grand jury that can actually vote to indict the former president. Again, we've already seen that happen before. If he could be convicted of a crime as the Republican nominee, if he wins the primary, could you support him if he's convicted of a crime?
Well, Manu, I'm running for president to be the nominee. So you're asking me to speculate. And as governor of a sitting state, when people ask me about hypotheticals out, 12 months, 18 months out, I never comment on those because I have to deal with the real solutions and the real problems that are going on right now. And we're running a campaign. We expect to be the nominee. And when we're the nominee, there won't be the distractions because we'll be focusing on the issues that matter to America and our place in the world. And again, we've got the Biden administration. Plenty of people are worried about that. We're worried about it where we've gone wrong direction on economy, wrong direction on energy policy, and wrong direction on national security. So it's just, so we would not even be at war in the Ukraine right now if we hadn't adopted a policy where we decided that we're going to, buy energy from our adversaries and then shut down the American industry. In a Burgum administration, we'll be selling energy to our allies, not buying it from our adversaries. And on the economy, we'll be focusing on innovation, unleashing the power of the American economy, not trying to regulate every industry out of business. And when that happens, that's how you win a Cold War with China. That's how we're in a war with Russia. We just haven't sent troops. But those are the things that we want to be talking about.
Yeah, and I want to talk to you about your campaign. And look, you're trying to make the argument that you'd be the most viable candidate. The question is about the former president's viability as a candidate, whether he would be the best choice for your party's nomination. You had mentioned just moments ago that you had met that donor threshold. That's news here about whether that you could make the debate stage on one of the aspects of making the debate stage. You had promised your campaign $20 gift cards to every new donor that gave you at least $1 for your campaign. So how many new donors did you get from that effort?
Well, we passed the 40,000 mark today. We've got more gift cards to give out. We're going to, keep on going. So if people want to go to DougBurgum.com and do that, but of course we've had people that are saying, hey, I don't need a gift card. We have people that are saying I'm giving more than $20. We just have broad support, and whether it's high school classmates or business partners, we've got donations that have come from all 50 states. This has been a grassroots effort, a group of friends and family called the Sodbusters, calling people on their Christmas cards list and saying, hey, this is a guy that you should get to know and get behind him. And so, I just want to say thank you to all the people out there in the grassroots effort to drive this, to get to 40,000 donors in 40 days. It's remarkable. Again, when we know we're the least known candidate in the race, and so when we see ourselves tied for fourth in New Hampshire on a qualifying poll yesterday, we get excited because we know there's a lot of upside. As people get to know us, they're going to say, hey, this is the real deal. This is an opportunity. This is going to be a fresh choice for America.
And so do you have a number on the amount of gift cards you gave out to these donors?
Don't have a number for you today. I just know from my team, they told me right before I walked in the studio that we'd passed the 40,000 mark, and I know we've got more gift cards to give. We promised we'd give out 50,000 gift cards, and so if people missed out so far, they can still go to DougBurgum.com and qualify for
this
one.
Is a pretty novel thing that you're doing here. So I'm wondering what you say to some of your critics who say this is the governor buying his way onto the debate stage.
I think that's funny, actually, because anybody who knows anything, I spent my whole career in business, and all of that in the software side, almost all of that in the technology business. And anybody that starts an online retail business knows that you've got a thing called a loss leader. When you're trying to acquire customers, you put a great product out there and then you say, hey, the product, but we're going to offer it for X price. It's a sale price. People buy, you get repeat customers. We know that the people that donate to us now may continue to donate because what they see they're going to like and they're going to continue to support us. And so this is about a smart strategy. It's about an entrepreneur with a business attitude. This is what we need. This is what we brought to the state of North Dakota. This is how we cut $1.7 billion out of a $6 billion budget. This is how we can reduce the size of the federal government, reduce the power to the states, is by using innovation, not regulation. And of course, if you go to a firm today and say, hey, I need online donors, they might charge you $100 per customer acquisition. We're getting this done at 1/5 the price, and we think that's pretty smart.
Okay, well, Governor, we appreciate your time. Thank you, for making that news here on our air, making one of those key thresholds surpassing to make the debate stage later this year. Thank you. We hope you come back soon. And next, a balancing